Okay. Okay. What's going on, LBHT crew? Look, it was a tough one, guys. It was a tough one. B, what's up, man?
Apparently, Cam wasn't the problem. I don't
Hold
know.
on.
It's weird.
Let me add some more light here. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, guys. Look, it seems like it's the same story every week. We fought hard, but we come up short.
Yeah.
So look, let's just be honest. Like, we gotta be we're real on this channel. We're realistic about it, man. Like, it's pretty much over. All right. In order for the Ravens to make the playoffs, we obviously we have to win, something we haven't done in 5 weeks, and we need a couple of things to happen. Right. What, like, when we we need, or if the Colts lose, I think if the Colts lose and we win, I think we get in. But the Colts are playing the
No,
Jaguars.
from what I saw, they need a lot of help.
Okay.
I couldn't find, because the week isn't over yet, so I haven't seen a specific breakdown at this point. But from what I read, they said Baltimore needs a lot of help to get in next week.
Okay. Okay. Why isn't this stream populating here? That is weird. I'm going to try to get this going here. Give me 1 second, guys. Stop that. Start. I see you guys in the chat. Shout out to Davon, man. Davon in here says hashtag LBHT crew. All right, that is not the one. All right, you guys going to see some behind the scenes stuff here for a second. Give me 1 second.
So while you're doing that, I'll just go over Carolina real quick. They lost 18-10 to the New Orleans Saints, quarterbacked by Taysom Hill. So that's embarrassing.
Yep.
They put Sam Darnold back in. Sam, they tried their best to protect him and to and when I say protect, I don't mean the offensive line, because they didn't. They gave up 7 sacks. I mean, they tried to make it look good. They tried to make it not a disaster. Sam Darnold went 17 for 26 for 132 yards with an interception and a lost fumble. So obviously it didn't work, right? But they just had him throwing a lot of short passes, trying to keep that completion percentage up, trying to move the ball bit by bit down the field, not allow him to make too many mistakes. And he, for the most part, he stayed within that. The interception was late. It was a terrible interception, but it was late in the game, and a point where they had to start trying to force something. He didn't get much help from his receivers. There were some bad drops there. No help from the run game. The defense showed up, but I mean, you're defending Taysom Hill, so it kind of is what it is there.
Yeah.
But they played well. They played well for most of the game. But I think, this is Matt Rule going into like protectionist mode, trying to make sure that the wheels stay on just long enough to cross the finish line, so that he doesn't get fired just out of sheer embarrassment, which is the thing that coaches do towards the end of the season. When it hasn't gone well.
Yeah.
If you go out there and you get beat by 30 by New Orleans, and then you get beat by 35 by Tampa Bay, that leaves a lasting impression with the owner, right? But if you lose by 8 to the Saints, and you go out next week and maybe you just lose by 10, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Look, like I said, I still feel, I know all the reports are leaning towards him coming back. I feel like he's done, right? It's obvious he's calling a different game when Cam's in there and when Darnold's in there. And it's funny because we talk about that here. Is Greg Roman sabotaging Lamar? No, that's what Matt Rule is trying to do with Cam, right? And we've seen this happen before. Like, we see other coaches do that, where they have the quarterback go out there and just try to run an offense where they know it's not going to work. They know the O-line's not protected. And they know it's just not going to work. And when they get the quarterback in there that they want, they get real conservative. They want to protect that quarterback, right? Look at Kirk Cousins. That's why Kirk Cousins plays the way he plays now, because he didn't start out good. He looked pretty bad, in fact, but that's who they wanted to succeed. And it was a lot of check downs, a lot of safe plays, safe passes to protect his stats. A lot
of coddling in the media.
And that's what you saw today with Sam Darnold. I saw on Twitter, people are like, yo, why isn't he throwing it down the field? Because you can risk interceptions. I mean, he threw one anyway, right? But, a lot of safe passes to protect his stats, to give that appearance that the offense is more in control with Sam Darnold at the helm. And it isn't.
No.
So
yeah, it like I said, it didn't work. They gave up 7 sacks. And listen, I've not been a fan of Sam Darnold. I said from the moment they traded for him that it was an awful move. He's a bad quarterback, and it was going to go poorly. But I also said you're setting him up for failure. No quarterback is going to be successful behind a line that allows 7 sacks.
Yeah,
you're just not going to.
Yeah,
you have to have time and you have to have protection to execute as a quarterback in the NFL, and he just doesn't have it.
Nope. So I still feel like at the end of the day, Matt Rule's going to get fired. I do. He just doesn't have it. And I mean, I know we've kind of went back and forth about it, but my gut tells me, despite what everybody's saying, Matt Rule's out of here.
Yeah, I still think that he's made the decision that Matt Rule's not the guy, but knows that he's not going to be able to hire a good coach this offseason with the state of the team. And bringing Matt Rule and Sam Darnold back for another year gets them much, much closer to that number 1 overall pick and maybe getting C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State. And then you can hire your coach, have a great-looking quarterback prospect, and sell the fan base on that. So I think that's the way it goes. I hope he gets fired next week, though.
All right, let's read a couple comments here. And shout out to Shaheen. Shaheen was in here early. He said he's over in Iran, so the time difference he couldn't be here for the live show. But I want to give him a shout out. His comment disappeared, but basically he just said, look, it's over, right? Like don't even bother starting Lamar next week, which I agree with. Shout out to Noah. He says, yay, stream. I'm actually on time for. What a bad day for Panthers and Ravens fans. Also, Shaheen and Keenan, you guys are 100% correct. Yeah, Keenan was in here too, man. Shout out to Keenan. John Hazeb Ali is here. Yo. What up, LBHT? What's up with you, man? He says clean house and rebuild. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need rebuild, just clean house. King of Pugo, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. King? Mr. J the Six says Ravens and Panthers L's unite. Yes, Davon, our guy Davon Johnson, man, says hashtag LBHT crew. Our man E's in the house, man. Shout out to E. We just saw E yesterday, man.
What's up, E?
He was filming some stuff for us, man. If you guys need any film work done, if you're in the area, you're in the Maryland, Baltimore area, even the DC area, man, holla at E. He does good work. Tony Hendo is here. What's up, Tony? Appreciate you coming through. Living legend. Oh man, living legend. You know I'm gonna go with this, man. I think was it the first quarter? Justin Houston had his hands around Matt Stafford, and I jumped up. I was like, "This is it. He's gonna get that sack early, get it out the way." And Matt Stafford got away and threw the ball for a first down, and I felt it right here. He
showed up to clean up Tyus Bowser's sack later in the game, though.
Oh, did he?
Recovery.
Yeah,
he didn't get a sack. Don't get excited.
I was about to say, he only needs to have a sack.
Bowser got the sack. He got the strip sack, and Justin Houston, like I said, came in fashionably late, picked up the ball, but no sack for him.
Listen, man, one more game. That's the only thing I want to see next week. I just want to see Justin Houston to come through for a Living Legend, so Living Legend and get something from the merch store. All right. All right, let's see. Okay, SV Cam, he says 1-5 without Lamar. I'm jumping around here, guys. I'm not gonna get to all these comments, but if you know the drill. If you need your comment to be read, you need that highlight, and you just want to support the show because you love it so much. $ LBHT show. All right, that's how you do it. That's our Cash App. Also, that link that I pinned in the comments, right? That is our Streamlabs. Either way, you can leave a donation, leave a comment, and we will have something pop up right above us, right there. Okay, and we'll read your comment as well, man. And shout out to you guys for coming through. Let's see. Plug Cap, what's going on? I don't think I've seen you in here before, man. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Well, Hollywood taking shots at Roman on Twitter again. I didn't see that. Makes sense because his QBs can't throw a deep pass to save his life. Well, look, man.
All I saw was somebody said, "Is there a support group for Hollywood Brown fantasy owners?" And he responded, "I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there with y'all."
Oh, I mean,
I don't know if he said anything else, but yeah.
Yeah.
Listen. I don't want to hear about people underthrowing Hollywood Brown. He had 3 catches on 8 targets, and he lost a fumble.
Yeah.
Do something with the catches you have before you start complaining about bad throws. from the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Couch Rider Ravens in the house. What's up, man? He says, can I get a crab cake?
What's up, Couch?
Man, come out to the city, man. We'll hook you up. SV Cam says Proche. Oh, here we go. Proche being inactive after 70+ yard game is sickening.
I put it up there. I didn't know if we were going to get to it, but we got to it early. Let me ask y'all something. Why are y'all obsessed with this garbage ass receiver? He's played 28 games and he has 200 and some yards.
I will call him
and
garbage.
No touchdowns. What do you call it? He's played 28 games and he put another way. Jamar Chase nearly had James Proche's career total today.
Listen.
Why do y'all care? You had Hollywood, you had Bateman, you had Watkins, you had Duvernay, you had the guy you drafted in the 4th round, higher than James Proche, mind you, this year, and Tylan Wallace. Why do you care that James Proche was inactive?
So I want to address this right here, right? I'm not going to say he's garbage, right?
I already said it.
But I need to address this part too, right? Ray Ron says Huntley drop ball is. I think he meant deep ball. Deep ball is trash. I hear a few people saying, yeah, see, Huntley deep ball is trash. That's what Ray Ron is saying. But so what? James Proche ain't no deep threat, right? Like James Proche is not getting open down the field. Like he's not that kind of wide receiver, right? He's a guy. I don't even think his route running is that great. But I think it's solid. I think he's one of those guys that can turn into a good technician. I think he works hard enough to where I think he could be a good route runner in good hands. He'd be like a possession guy, but just nothing special. That's all I think.
You know what he is? He's Tyler Huntley. He's the guy that you all love.
Fair says he's garbage, Jose.
Because you don't know what he really is because he doesn't get enough targets. He doesn't get enough catches for you to really see him. Just like Tyler Huntley didn't get enough play time, but what you liked, you saw, and then your imagination ran wild with it. And now you're seeing more Tyler Huntley, and you're like, yo, his deep pass is garbage. Yeah, and if James Proche kept on playing, you'd be like, yo, this dude is slow. He can't get open. Why is he not producing?
Yeah,
but he's still in that fantasy phase for y'all.
I don't buy this either. Proche still got the best hands on the team. Based on what? Based on what?
Absolutely nothing.
Like that's what he's got a small sample size. That's it. And it's not even like he hasn't had a drop. He's had a couple of drops. Shout out to Tony Hendo, man. Thanks for donating. He says B-Day in 9 days, and I get brand new coaches for it. Oh, let's get Tony. Tony needs some coaches for his birthday, man. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Look, Proche is not somebody I want to keep arguing with, especially it's week 16. We're out of the playoffs pretty much. I mean, we're not out yet, but it's looking that way. And Proche is a non-factor. I don't want to keep fighting you guys over a guy that's a non-factor.
It's fine to be a fan of James Proche. I'm not saying don't be a fan of him. I'm not saying don't support him. I'm saying stop acting like he's somebody. Like I'm a fan of Brandon Zylstra. I like Brandon Zylstra. But I'm not over here crying when he's inactive.
He's also more productive.
He is. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but I'm not over here all upset when Brandon Zylstra ain't playing. He's Brandon Zylstra. Come on, man.
Let's see. Noah says Marquise Brown is straight up garbage. Sorry, not sorry. Looks like Bartholomew was right.
Straight up garbage. Let's get that 200-yard receiver out there.
He's not garbage. You guys, man, like he's not garbage.
Oh,
look, Ravens fans, when it comes to evaluating skill positions, look, I take what a lot of you guys say with a huge grain of salt, because we don't know as fans, like we're not used to seeing like top level talent at most of these positions, right? Like especially at wide receiver. So like when we're evaluating these guys and we're saying, oh, this guy could be this, he could be that. You don't know that. You haven't looked around the league to see what good wide receivers look like. That's why I keep telling you guys, watch other games, because if you watch other games, really you'd be looking at this whole wide receiver core and saying we just need to upgrade. Because even Rashad Bateman, who I like Rashad Bateman, it ain't enough. It's not nearly enough. Rashad Bateman, Hollywood Brown, I know you guys are saying, well, he's young, he missed some time, he's just a rookie. Man, I just watched Jamar Chase. I mean, he's going to be compared to Randy Moss for a while because he's going to be on that trajectory. Okay, we weren't able to
Their
get
last
Jamar.
two rookie wide receivers went for 2,300 yards total.
Yeah,
And Jamar Chase still has one more game left.
yeah.
Y'all didn't want T Higgins either.
Didn't want T Higgins. Look, the kid in Miami, Waddle, Jalen Waddle, has a chance to break Anquan Bolden's reception record. You have Devontae Smith over in Philly. Like, these guys are ballers, right? And Philly ain't got much on their team either, right? But he's making it happen. He's making some plays. And I see flashes from Bateman. And yes, a lot of it has to do with his offensive scheme. I get it. But he ain't those guys. Okay, no. He's not those guys. Let's not get that twisted at all. He is not.
No, I think he's going to be a good, really solid number one receiver for him. But I do think they should aim for a better receiver than Rashad Bateman.
And I see you guys talking about AB. I will say this because my thing was draft somebody like Bateman and pick up AB. I'm still on that train. I'm not saying pick him up now. Obviously, he's probably done. But I would have had no problem if we picked him up, and even if he had to blow up right now like this, because AB would have at least have made some plays to get us a couple more wins, right? We were missing that kind of player to make a couple more plays for us to win a couple of these games that we just couldn't finish out down the stretch because we don't have those kind of playmakers on this team. We don't have anybody that can make that clutch catch, that can extend a play, make a big play. We don't have that, right? No. I mean, even Mark Andrews, hey, shout out to Mark Andrews. He broke the Ravens receiving record. I'm glad we got him, right? Make no mistake about that. I'm glad we got him. He's not that type of playmaker, right? He can't take a ball and just catch a ball and take it to the house, right? He's not going to make that clutch play with the game on the line. Not yet anyway. So, all right. What else we got here? Big Red says Marquis' problem is he can't make people miss, and he has occasional hands. Not bad player, but not number one wide receiver. Yeah. Or he says, or number two.
And then, well, I think at his best he's a number two, but he doesn't play at his best consistently enough. And you've got Rashad Bateman. You've already paid Mark Andrews, so at this point the question has got to be: are you going to pay Hollywood?
Eric says, see, I didn't even say it this time. He's not the biggest Hollywood fan either. All right. And shout out to Danity. I see you in here, Danity. She says, making enough. That's right. Hashtag making enough. That's in reference to when people say we can't afford certain wide receivers. Listen, man. I see some people out there tweeting about the wide receivers that we had a chance to get in the offseason this time around. It's like, oh, well, they're not doing well, right? King Galladay, he's not doing anything. Allen Robinson, he's not doing anything. Julio Jones, he's not doing anything. See, we were wasting money on him. So what? We get it wrong on defense all the time. We throw away money on defense all the time, and that's cool. We don't say anything about that.
According to the numbers, you wasted your pick on Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
According to his production.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the route we want to go. I mean, Kenny Galladay's been hurt. Julio Jones has been hurt. And if you want to come down and be like, oh, see, look at them, they're injured. So is Rashad Bateman. He has 450 some yards.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of these guys have been hurt. Also, Sammy Watkins been hurt too, right?
Yeah, Sammy's been hurt too. I forgot he was on the team.
And also, why? I thought it was weird. Like, why bring it up on the day where we just lost our fifth game in a row, right? Like, why are we taking victory laps for
because you can't score points,
right? Like, we're taking victory laps for getting bargain deals,
right? Because you're not even saving money.
No,
like this is money that the players are entitled to. It's their split of the revenue sharing. Like you're not even doing that thing that a lot of people do where they cape up for billionaires and try to save their money. Like, you're not even doing that. So I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand it at all.
All right, couple more of these comments. Akeem Day One Ravens fan, thank you for joining the live stream. Only reason why Bateman don't look like that guy is because of the lane offense he's in. I agree. We literally
not the only reason. Right.
We literally throw curl routes to our wide receivers all game. You really can't properly assess our wide receiver talent. It plays a huge factor because Greg Roman cannot draw up advanced passing plays, something we've just been saying on here. Like, he can't do it. So that does hinder him for sure. but it ain't the only reason.
No,
Like
no,
he's
it's absolutely not the only reason. Like, and I hear what you're saying. And I do think that Rashad Bateman can be a number one for Baltimore. I think Ravens are going to be very, very happy with Rashad Bateman.
yes,
But Greg Roman's not the only coach he's ever played for. He wasn't Jamar Chase in college either. Like
right.
Jamar Chase is a different beast.
Yeah.
Like,
Now look, we didn't have a chance.
The same.
We didn't have a legit chance to get Jamar Chase, right? Like we did.
No, they didn't. But I'm just saying, like, there's a difference in wide receiver prospects.
But also, I think Jalen Waddle,
Rashad Bateman was on a different tier than those top three guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Waddle and Devontae Smith are better than him too, and we did have a shot to get at least Devontae Smith, right? Let's see, Keenan Ricketts, Odell would have been a nice upgrade too. Absolutely, absolutely. Noah says he's taking Duvernay over Marquise. You just hating out, Noah. John Hazeb Ali, we need to build O-line first. Absolutely. Yes, that's first and foremost. Like, we don't have the worst wide receiver core in the league anymore, right? It's not the best, but we don't have the worst. So that's not priority number one. Priority number 1, 2, and 3 is fixing the O-line.
Yeah, and it's fine because they need to attack the O-line in free agency. And by the way, this is what we said last week, right? That Patrick McCarry signing was a good signing as long as he's a depth player for them. As long as they still go out and get a starting tackle. They still go out and get a new starting guard. And you saw at the end of the game, Patrick McCarry failing to even get a fingernail on Von Miller before Von got into the backfield and ended the game for you.
Yeah, he played like he just got some money. Davon says AB would have took his clothes off game 1 for us.
and you know what? My thing too is I don't want to hear any. I can't see the comments right now, but I don't want to hear anything about look at he blew up. He's a distraction. Blah blah blah. Tampa Bay didn't even notice that man was gone. They still went out and won the game.
Listen, it's that low hanging fruit. It's easy to pick at AB, and people love to pick on AB. And we tell you guys, be careful for what you read in the media and like the narrative people spin on players, right?
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, AB got a lot of issues, right? We got a lot of issues. He's got personality for sure. How much is that hurting the team? It ain't hurting the team,
it's
man.
Not
Because also with they'll say, hey, see, this is what happens when you get somebody like that on your team, but they won't highlight the fact that he just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? And he played a factor in winning that Super Bowl. He scored a touchdown in that Super Bowl. Like it worked. So just because sometimes things end that way, that I'll take that risk for a superior talent. I'll take that every time.
A lot of people lose sight of the fact that it is the only goal in professional sports.
Yeah,
is to win a championship, because nobody cares about the morality of signing these players.
Yeah,
like we're not sitting here every week talking about Kansas City and why they've got Frank Clark and why they've got Tyreek Hill and why even to a certain extent why they have Tyrann Mathieu. I know he's turned himself around. Great job for Tyrann, but we're not talking about that. You're only talking about it with Antonio because, he had this incident today. Like, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Yeah. All you care about is winning. The Ravens fans, y'all weren't out here talking about why do we have Terrell Suggs on the team? You didn't care. Yeah. Because he was balling.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't make it a thing now.
Kosh Ryder Raven says AB was a tantrum kid. Parents ignored him. Yeah, maybe. Everybody, look. Then everybody's not gonna be the same. You gotta be able to deal with personalities, right? And look, I don't know. So like with him, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I was asking, what did Arians say to him? Like, he didn't just snap all of a sudden. Like, Arians he's going to tell his story. That's the other thing too. They're going to spin it however they want to spin it. But we know this. Arians already didn't like him. He's already said it. He didn't want him on the team. But Tom Brady gets what he wants right now, right? Mm-hmm. So he got him on the team. I'm sure he wasn't happy with the whole, forging the vaccine card. I wouldn't be either, right? Yeah. But he said that he told AB to get in the game, and AB told him no. He said he told him again, and he told him no. So then he told him to leave. I promise you, there's more to the story than that.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
AB didn't just say, you know what? I don't feel like playing today. I'm not going to do it. They had an exchange before that. He said something to AB that AB took as disrespect. Now, are we ever going to know exactly what he said? Probably not. Or we might. You know, AB will tell us and you won't believe him. All right. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's more than just he just flaked out. There's more to it than that. Should he have done what he did? No, I don't think so. But you know, he's at the point where he has Hall of Fame numbers. He's a Hall of Famer, right? He's got 2 rings. Was he on that?
No, he's
just
got
the one.
Just the one.
Got the one.
But that's kind of what, because I just looking at my phone, got the alert just now. You know, this goes to what we were talking about. One of the NFL's greatest narcissists, Antonio Brown, made a fool out of Bruce Arians and the Buccaneers, who should have known better. Made a fool out of them. How? They're defending champions.
Right.
What do they care?
Right. And Tom Brady said, "Get him here." So
he made a fool out of Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he took off his jersey and walked out of the stadium during a game and went home. But tomorrow night, the person who wrote this and everybody else online is going to be celebrating a rapist, and they're not going to say the same thing. They're not going to say Ben Roethlisberger made a fool out of all you.
Right.
Why is it like this now?
Like in the NFL and in college, because he had allegations in college too, right? And he likes to drive around recklessly on his motorcycle. Y'all don't even remember about that, right? Yeah. Do you know his face is reconstructed because he got into a bike accident? I think it was like his 3rd or 4th year into the league.
Yeah, they say he almost died.
Yeah, y'all don't even know about that, right? That dude is reckless, and he loves throwing players under the bus, his teammates under the bus. You've had multiple. And shout out to Sugar. Sugar's watching. I know Sugar is. Sugar's. Multiple players come out and speak out against him, right? We focus on AB throwing the ball at him, but, you know, Ryan Clark has said things about him. Emmanuel Sanders has said things about him. That former running back was saying that he intentionally, you know, fumbled the ball during the game because he didn't get his way. Like multiple players just saying bad things about him. You don't see too many players sticking up for him. So that tells you what kind of person he is. Mm-hmm. But more so than Ben Roethlisberger, right? That's easy. That's an easy target too. Yeah. Let me ask you this: What's worse? What AB did today, and I don't think that's good, right? You don't walk on your team like that during a game. Is that bad, or a head coach taking a job? Just a brand new job, put his staff together. He got this staff to quit their other jobs, right? To be coordinators and position coaches for this coach. And then when that team goes to announce their new coach, he says, "Peace out." He says, "Peace out. You know what? I don't want the job anymore. I'm going to stay here in New England." I'm talking about Josh McDaniels, right? That's what he did. And it wasn't that long ago. He left the organization hanging because it was last minute. They did not know what he was going to do.
They were there for the press conference.
They were there for the press conference, and he's just like, I don't want to do it.
Like, yo, where Josh at? And somebody called Josh.
Right.
I'm on a flight back to New England.
He left all those coaches hanging. But luckily, the coach said we're gonna retain these guys, right? And they're still there. But I mean, they could have just easily said, "Look, we're getting another coach, and he gets to pick his staff, and you guys are on your own." Yeah. Right. It was a terrible situation, and now he's being considered. There are talks that he's being considered for a head coaching position again, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you don't want to slime ball
like that. And a guy who failed as a head coach previously, and then failed as an offensive coordinator outside of New England. So it's not even like this is the only thing. Like he's shown twice that he can't coach without Papa Belichick by his side.
Yeah. Whoever gets him, that's somebody you want to be afraid of. That's a train wreck. Couch Rider says Josh McDaniels is equal to he's the AB of coaches. I think he's worse. He's worse than AB. He's worse than AB because AB isn't holding other people's careers in his hands.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's 10 times worse. Like that's the type of thing that should never get you a coaching job ever again. Mm-hmm. Right. And I want to bring him up because I'm infuriated that he's being talked about as coaching candidate over Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
All they do is they've been doing things the right way the teams are successful, and this guy who's already failed and already showed just bad character is getting another shot. Let's see here. Deshaun, what's up, Deshaun? He says, so Sean. y'all would take Hammy Watkins with one catch every other week instead of trying to get a playmaker as long as he's a nice guy. Yeah, they would. Most people would, right? Sammy listen, that's another thing. What's the biggest red flag that a player can show? That he can't play. You can't fix that, right? Somebody that has these bad habits off the field, he's a bad attitude. You can try to work with them. You can try to make it work long enough to where you can win, like what Tampa did. But if they can't play, you can't fix that.
Yeah. It's a red flag every time Sam Darnold throws the ball.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Danity says, facts. I haven't seen a headline call McDaniels a narcissist. That's right. Mm-hmm. Even when he did it at the time, which is, I thought that was, you can't get any worse than that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Emery Fisher, thank you for joining the live stream. You guys got any idea how to submit an application for Ravens OC? I think I can do better than Roman. You might, man. You might be able to. I mean, they definitely should be taking some interviews.
They should. John's got it though.
Yeah,
he's gonna do a Ron Rivera type coaching search. Ron woke up in his bed 3:00 in the morning and had an epiphany that he needed to fire Mike Shula and call up Norv Turner, and that was the coaching search.
Yeah. Shout out to Jonathan Washington Jr. He says, "What's up, guys? Did I miss my chance to rant about firing Harbs? Man, go at it. Look."
Oh no, yeah. Go ahead and here we go. The Ravens' playoff chance is over. Go ahead and get it all out. See, over here in Carolina, this kind of stuff isn't really a big deal. Like I'm used to just not, the team being an embarrassment, the season being over before the last week, knowing that you're not going to the playoffs, turning my attention to the draft while the games are still going on. This is all normal. But I understand that's not the case in Baltimore. So this might be a shock to some systems over there. You need to get some stuff off your chest.
How do you guys feel about it, honestly? Because the easy excuse out there is, hey, we had a lot of injuries, right? Mm-hmm. We were playing shorthanded. Lamar missed the last 4 games, and it's just this is the hardest part of our schedule. You can all those are true, but does it make you feel any better about this coaching staff? Do you feel confident, right? Saying, hey, if we had a healthy squad, we would have won these games. But we didn't look good last year. No. We didn't look good at the beginning of this year when we were healthy. We're the healthiest that we were going to be. I don't think it mattered that much. The only thing that mattered was Lamar, right? And then when Lamar wasn't there, then you started to see, they can't get it done.
And this is what I try to say when I say that I don't really take the injuries as an excuse for Baltimore, because it wasn't to Lamar, at least up until very recently, and it was to some of them. You had Ronnie Stanley, that's a big deal. Marcus Peters is sort of a big deal, to an extent. It impacted them more than it should have, but the rest of those guys, they were very, very replaceable, and Baltimore showed that by going 8-3.
Yeah,
right. It didn't matter. Lamar was playing well, and you win games. And that's why I always looked at it. And every team has injuries, right? And I looked at it, and I'm like, I would take Baltimore's injuries over New Orleans' injuries every single day, because New Orleans lost their starting quarterback, and he's not even anywhere near as good as Lamar.
Right.
But you see, it kind of derailed them.
Yeah.
If Jameis Winston was still there, they would have locked up a playoff spot a while ago.
Yeah.
But it's the most important position. They lost him, and they're in a little bit of disarray. And that's what you've seen with Baltimore over the last few weeks. Lamar's not out there, and Tyler Huntley's doing the best he can. He's doing an admirable job considering.
He is.
And they've been in all these games, but they're losing them.
Yeah,
and if Lamar was playing, they would have won these games.
Absolutely. Now I know Lamar lost that one to Pittsburgh, but that was your boy. That's your boy, greatest tight end in the world, not making the catch. I
heard he was elite.
I'm not gonna take too many shots at Mark Andrews, because I really like Mark Andrews. Like I said, him being the third or fourth best tight end is not a diss at all. I mean, he's out of 32 tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad we got him. So it's not. But if you're gonna say he's on that level, he's got to make that catch.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I will say today, he was robbed of opportunity. But again, this is what you get with the backup quarterback, right? Because he had what's his name on him, the corner. Why am I blanking on his name? The Rams corner, Jalen Ramsey. But he had to step on Jalen Ramsey to the out, and Tyler Huntley had to throw it out. He was going to probably have to dive forward to try to do that one-handed catch that I'm not a fan of. But given the opportunity to make a play there, what I've seen from Mark Andrews the last few weeks is him being more aggressive, and it seems like he wants to make those plays now, and you got to give him a shot to do it. You got to give him a chance to do it. So it was unfortunate because we settled for a field goal there, and that's where you want to go for it on fourth down, right? That's when you want to try to put this game away. Not okay. Well, we're right there, and we ran off all this time with the clock. Let's settle for a field goal. No. You gotta get that touchdown, man.
Well, this goes back to what you had said a few weeks ago, right? You would know what the temperature is inside the Ravens front office by the way they handled these last few games. Lamar's not playing, and they're not pushing to flat out win these games. And it just tells you that John Harbaugh knows he's safe.
Yes.
If John Harbaugh had gotten an indication that, listen, if you miss the playoffs, you're done, it would have gone a different way.
Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean Greg Roman is safe. All right.
No, it's not.
I think Wink is safe. I think this game did a lot to help Wink out because the defense played well. And shout out to Clark, man. He's in the thumbnail. We haven't even mentioned Chuck Clark, man. This was a career game for Chuck Clark, and he really balled out. And
shout out to Garnett West. This is even a bigger day for Garnett West because he called Chuck Clark getting an interception before the game.
Yes, he did. He
got 2.
That pick 6 was nice. That reminded me a little bit of Ed Reed right there.
And listen, shout out to Matt Stafford for trying to get y'all into the playoffs.
He did, man. Matt tried his hardest. even Sean
turned it over 3 times.
Even Sean McVay was yelling at him. He had flashes of Jared Goff for a moment. Yeah, I don't take anything away from this loss. I know people are going to look at it as a moral victory, say, hey man, it was close. We thought we were going to get blown out, but that just tells me that this is a breakdown in the coaching because you're showing that we have the players to compete. We have the ability to win these games, and it's just things that we're doing that are costing us these games, right?
Yeah.
And man,
and they showed this last year as well. They lost all their corners last year.
Yeah.
And everybody was freaking out, right? Because they were grabbing guys off the streets, and they were still a top defense.
Yeah. All right,
Even
real quick.
they had to start doing that.
Look, there's 61 people in here, man. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you are new, hit the subscribe button. Look, we set a lofty goal for the end of 2021. We didn't reach it. That's all right, but we still got the goal. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, baby. All right? Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Subscribe. All right? Let's read a few comments. Let's see. Danny says, offense didn't score a touchdown. Right. The defense gets you a pick 6. And then they got did they get a forced fumble? Yeah, they had a forced fumble. They had a fumble recovery.
Two interceptions and a fumble recovery.
3 turnovers. And your offense did nothing. Gave us 12 points. And it's losing 20-19 when the defense gives you 3 turnovers. That's unacceptable. I don't care who's in the game. And look, I think Tyler Huntley has been propped up enough to where it's not a good enough excuse to say, well, we didn't have Lamar. You know what I mean? That's the other part. That's the other problem with having the backup quarterback when you hype him up too much and say, oh well, maybe we got a QB QB dilemma here, right?
Yeah, starting back, again, what was it? Cleveland, right?
Yeah,
where they tried to go for 2 to Mark Andrews, and it was a bad throw, and Hollywood was open in the back of the end zone. And he just didn't see him.
Right.
if you're going to say, hey, this dude, he might be better than Lamar, then he's got to take the criticism for that. He didn't,
Yeah.
right? You got today Charles Woodson coming out here talking about he runs just as well as Lamar and he throws the ball a little bit better. Okay, so you're saying he's better than Lamar Jackson, right? So he's got to take heavy criticism for not being able to score any points, any touchdowns in this game.
Yep.
A game where your defense, who they've underperformed all year, but they know you have to have this win, right?
Yeah.
You lose this game, you're essentially out of the playoffs. They held one of the better offenses in the league to 20 points. They forced 3 turnovers. If Tyler Huntley is that guy, you have to win this game.
That's why I say. That's why I
If he's
say
that
Wink.
guy, you can't be 1-4 as a starter.
Right. Like, we're critical of Wink on here, but again, this is one of the games that makes me say Wink got to go too, because Wink could have been calling this type of defense all year. Wink is just stubborn, right? Like it's one of those things where I don't have the guys. I don't want to get lit up like I did last week, right? So I'm gonna change up the scheme a little bit. We're not gonna blitz as much. We're gonna I'm gonna get creative with my play calling and blitzing and all that stuff, and it worked. He has the ability to do it, but when he has all his players healthy, he's got his playmakers out there, and he's got what he feels like job security. Let's blitz the house, baby. Every play, let's blitz, right? Zero blitz. He don't care. I'm not changing, right? That's a problem for me. But he called a good game. They did exactly what they needed to do to give us a chance, and they gave us a great chance. And Greg Roman didn't take care of it on his part. I don't think he called a good game at all. People will say, I think he did all right. No, I don't think he called a good game at all.
Right.
And that interception that Tyler Huntley threw was awful.
Yeah, it was. And Mark Andrews was wide open on that play. Wide open. And it was a much easier throw. And he just forced it downfield. And he forced it 15 yards too short downfield.
Yeah. All right. Just Alla, what's up, man? It says 5 Greg Roman was trending today. Karan Moore Watkins, thank you for joining the live stream. Says new coordinators, please. New coordinators. At this point, I don't even want new coordinators because I don't trust John Harbaugh. Unless they're saying, hey, the front office is going to help him pick his coordinators. I don't trust John Harbaugh to bring in his friends. He's got bad friends. Okay.
So that people are a bad influence on Johnny.
He's around the wrong people.
Johnny used to be on the straight and narrow. He was going to the playoffs every year. He got a Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden he starts picking his own friends, and you're missing the playoffs 4 out of 5 years.
Hold up. What's Harbaugh's nickname? What does Engraver call him? Hood Harbaugh? Look, listen. Hood Harbaugh got hood friends. All right, they keep him in trouble. Okay, they keep him in a hot seat. All right, get better friends. Daddy says Chucky played lights out. That was his best game ever. Yeah. I really liked how he played today, man. I'm real happy for him. Our man D Weezy's in the house. Says lunch money bets. If the Packers score first, I'm going to take the Vikings and the points and middle this game. Got Packers at 6.5, and the line closed at -13. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Shout out to Mikey from Off the Record Podcast. He says, one thing I can say about the players and the players only, they are a bunch of guys who play hard no matter what. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely true. And they deserve better coaching out there, man. They deserve better schemes. They deserve plays that they know are going to work because, especially on the offensive side, man, like there's just no faith there.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when the O-line cannot block. Oh, speaking of O-line, Ben Cleveland. I know you guys saw Ben Cleveland out there because he was getting tossed out there like a rag doll. And again, we not taking any victory laps because we want all of our players to play well. But just because he's got some big muscles, right, doesn't mean he can play. And his big muscles are college big muscles, right? Those aren't grown man big muscles like what Aaron Donald had.
Oh, hey, blocking Aaron Donald and wrestling squirrels are a little bit different, right? That's all right, man. I still think Ben Cleveland's going to be
I
fine
think
long
there's still
term.
potential there.
Just, yeah,
I don't dislike the pick.
it's not great that you're getting tossed aside 2 weeks in a row, but I think long term he'll still be fine.
I don't dislike the pick, but what I'm saying is when we drafted him, he wasn't the answer. We still had to go out and get somebody that's ready to play now. He might take a little while, and that's fine. That's fine. This year doesn't tell me anything about Ben Cleveland long term, but I knew he wasn't going to be ready right away, right? What's up, Josh Hoffman? He says even and all. So where we at? Where we at is, man, we about to be out the playoffs.
Out the playoffs, but this is a deep class for offensive linemen and wide receivers. So I'm going to say it again. I said it several weeks ago. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear any of y'all coming in here talking about draft a corner, draft a safety, none of that nonsense. Just go online, go to the Draft Network, go to PFF, go to whatever source you prefer, and just start looking at the wide receivers and O-linemen coming out.
Yeah. Let's see. Akeem Day 1 Ravens fan says Cleveland is 10 times better than Ben Powers. I don't know if it's that.
I hate it when people just say Cleveland. I thought he was talking about the Browns. I was like, why are you comparing Ben Powers to the franchise?
We got to start saying the whole name, guys. We got to start saying the whole name around here.
Or just start calling him Ben Baltimore.
Yeah.
Whatever.
10 times better. I wouldn't say he's 10 times better. He didn't look like it today. Yeah, he's got pushes. Like, I understand it's Aaron Donald. I get that. And I understand they didn't really give him any help. But Aaron Donald literally took one hand and shoved him out the way, and he went flying. You can't do that. You can't do that. Pat McCarry, yes. Karan, man, he says McCarry completely whipped on that Von Miller sack.
Yeah.
Again, man, Von Miller didn't. I don't even think he got touched. He just ran right around Pat McCarry.
He looked like a blind man, who didn't have his cane. He was just kind of groping around in a new area. But he's not a guy that you want as a starter. People kind of latched onto him because Villanueva was so terrible. What's going on, Nitro? Villanueva was so terrible at right tackle in the first week. And I don't know if you guys remember, this is what we were saying the several weeks following that game. People were coming in here telling us, oh man, the O-line's playing well. The O-line's, they're getting better and better. They're playing really well. And we're like, no, they're not playing well. You're still in shock from what you saw in Vegas. They're still playing like trash. It's just not they're not as bad as week one. And that's the same thing. Like, Pat McCarry is not a good tackle. He's not a good starting tackle, but he's better than Villanueva. And you felt more comfortable. You felt safer with him out there. And it's a good signing because he can play tackle, guard, and center. He's good depth.
Yes.
But they have to go out and get a right tackle. And no, it is not Juwan James.
No. And I'm going to say this too. I know you guys don't want to hear it because it looks like we're going to have a fairly high pick. If we got to use that first round pick on a tackle, you better damn well do it. Okay? You better do it. Get somebody. I don't care. Oh, we don't want to spend a first round pick on right tackle. You better spend it. Yeah. You better spend it. We're going to get Ronnie Stanley back. I'm not worried about Ronnie Stanley in terms of injuries. Right? I don't think he's injury prone. He'll be fine. We need another good right tackle. Now, if we can find somebody in free agency, I got to look at the free agency class for tackles, but good tackles don't usually hit free agency. But if we can get one, okay, fine. But, we're still going to have to draft one later on in the draft because this whole going into the season with 2.5 or 3 tackles, just it ain't enough.
And guess what? If you find one in free agency, then that pick goes to wide receiver. I still don't want to hear anything about that defense.
None.
Not at all.
None.
Not in round 1. Not in round 2.
Right. Nitro says we are out. Raiders have the tiebreaker versus us, and they are 9-7. If the Raiders lose next week,
so I think it's going to have to be the Chargers and Raiders losing and Baltimore winning because then head-to-head tiebreakers don't come into it.
Chargers play the Raiders next week.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it is then.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
It's gonna be more than a 2-way tie at 9-8 is what it's gonna have to get Baltimore in because then the head-to-head.
I think the Colts. I think because the Colts are 9-7 as well. The Colts lose, they're playing the Jaguars. But if the Colts somehow lose that game, right? I think that will get us into the playoffs. There's still a way technically, but basically what we're saying, guys, is it ain't happening. Okay, like we're going home, so it's just a matter of are we going to send Big Ben into retirement with an L, right? And we can finish the season with a winning record, right? A 9-8 record. That's the only question. But we're not going to the playoffs, and we don't deserve it, man. We had plenty of opportunities to make the playoffs. 5 losses in a row, all except one of them was very winnable, and even the losses before that, winnable games. But on the flip side, we could just as well have 4 wins, right? It's been that razor thin all year because from the jump, from week 1, we just haven't looked good, especially on offense and defense. This is the worst ranked passing defense in the league. Now, they had an excellent game today, but worst ranked passing defense in the league, and that was before the injuries, guys. We ain't talking about after everybody went down. This is before everybody went down. Marlon Humphrey had a terrible year, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that took me by surprise. I didn't expect that from Marlon Humphrey. But yeah, we need to sit down and assess our offense and defensive scheme and these coaches and their ability to get it done. If you need to have top players at every position, that means you're not that good of a coach.
Yeah.
At this level, anyway.
And more importantly, if you can't adjust what you're doing, it means you're not a good coach. Like I said, just having a scheme does not make you a good coach. It means that somebody taught you something and you're just repeating it to somebody else. If you don't have the players to run that scheme and you run it anyway, you are a bad coach.
And John has said, I don't agree with you. He says Marlowe's overrated. He's not overrated. He just had a bad year. That's all. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's only played that well because of Peters." Yeah, because of Peters. He was playing well before Peters got here.
Yeah.
So that ain't it either. All right. Let's see. Sammy didn't do jack this year. Can we get Allen Robinson, please? Yeah. Look, some people are saying, "Hey, Allen Robinson didn't do anything over there." That's the good thing we didn't spend money on him. But yes, I would take Allen Robinson over Sammy Watkins any day, and I would pay him.
And one thing I didn't even realize that I heard the other day is Allen Robinson had COVID, lost a bunch of weight, and took a really long time to kind of to get over it, and is not even back to 100% yet, which explains at least part of the struggles that he had this season.
Andre Mears says corners have to be addressed. Don't have to be addressed. A bunch of them are hurt. We addressed it.
Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Anthony Averett, Tavon Young are the top 4 corners in Baltimore.
And Chris Westry.
Don't tell me, and Chris Westry, but don't tell me you need to address corner when you have the best group of corners. Like, they got hurt. You know what needs to be addressed? Your strength and conditioning and your doctors.
Because here's the thing.
It doesn't matter who you bring in. If they get hurt, they get hurt.
That's another thing. We might have to save it for Wednesday because I want you guys to watch this game. But no, you're right, B. You're right. That's another thing I want to bring up, the injuries. And this has been going on. Again, this stuff predates this current team, Lamar Jackson's team, right? This has been going on from when Flacco was here, back when like Dominique Foxworth was on the team and Samari Rolle. Like we've had these injuries often. And it's just like, what are they doing? Right? Like, is it something they're doing in training camp? Is this like what are they doing? It always seems to be this team that gets hit with these injuries like all the time. So what's going on with their regimen? Whether it's how they practice, like you said, strength and conditioning. Like I don't know, but that needs to be assessed as well because it just seems to always be happening to them. Right? Every team has injuries, but this level of injuries. Nah, man, that's not a free. At this point, I don't believe that's a coincidence. It's something that they're doing, and they need to take a look at that.
Yeah, and like I said, you can't like sign and draft your way out of that. You can bring in 3 more corners. If they get hurt, they get hurt, and you don't have anybody again. They were the deepest team in the league at secondary, and then the majority of them got hurt. It is what it is. Like that doesn't mean rush out and go get more corners, go get more safeties. You have the players already. Like Deshaun Elliott's a good player. Chuck Clark's a good player. Brandon Stevens was looking good this year. Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Tavon Young. Those are good players. Anthony Averett. I know y'all were very upset with Anthony this year, but Anthony is a good, solid corner.
Yeah.
Chris Westry he's a young guy. He looked like he showed a few flashes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say he's a good corner at this point. He hasn't played a whole lot, but he's the 5th corner. They have the players. They just need to have them healthy. That's all.
And y'all need to listen to Mikey, man. 63 people in here. Hit that like button. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. We do a show every Wednesday night, a live show every Wednesday night, the LBHT show, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. And right after that show, we do an overtime show. That's for our Patreons. We're going to take a minute to tell you guys what you get for signing up for Patreon. We have 2 tiers. I don't even think they're not even $3.
We have 1 tier currently.
We have 1 tier currently.
Yes.
Okay. All right. B, tell them about that tier.
The $10 tier that we had, the founders tier, is closed. All the spots are gone there. So we're down right now to just the $3 tier.
It's $3.
We're going to be opening up another tier pretty soon. But right now, the $3 tier, you're going to get an invite to the overtime show that we do every week after our live show on Wednesday. Get you entrance into our Pick'em League every year. We give out a custom lunch break hot take trophy to the winner. OTR Mike won it this year, so that's going to be on the way pretty soon. When we bring the next tier back, that's going to get you an invite into our Dynasty Fantasy Football League that we're starting up. We're giving out custom championship belts. Our guy Deshaun in the chat, I don't know if he's still here, but he's in the championship game today. Yeah. I got to check on the score in a little bit, see how he's doing. But yeah, we got custom championship belt there. It'll also allow you to request specific content. Articles or videos on whatever topic you would like. And we may be adding an extra tier for our new show, Ring Kings Podcast. So
yes.
Be on the lookout for that.
Be on the lookout for that. And if you're a boxing fan, you haven't subscribed, go over to Ring Kings Podcast. Just look it up on YouTube. It'll come right up. Ring Kings Podcast. Yes. Hit the subscribe button. We're doing with our
OTR Mike.
Yes. And we were recording some stuff yesterday that we're going to put up. And our guy Elaw helped us put it together, so man, just be on the lookout for that. Okay,
yeah, it's in a soft launch right now, but we're still getting everything together. We put out 1 episode already.
Yeah. There's content on there. Shout out to Jemiah Seavey. I'm gonna read this. He said, "I said 3 weeks ago we was losing the rest of our games. Remember? I remember. Yes, yeah. you nailed it." He said, "And honestly, the only good out of this is the draft picks." You hit it right on the head, man. You did call it. I do remember you, man. And shout out to you, right? Like you did call that. I wasn't sure if Lamar was still gonna play, right? Or I figured if they said he had a bone bruise, it wasn't as bad as they thought it was gonna be, that they rush him back out there, and they decided against it. And like B said, it might they might have gotten a call from Bishotti, hey, don't worry about it. Too many injuries this year. Just don't sweat it. Make sure everybody, just comes out healthy. Rest Lamar, because we got to get him signed to a new deal, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what they did. And these games were close. They were competitive. They had shots, and they just didn't get done. I think for the most part, everybody's going to be whole, but I still think Greg Roman, I think ultimately he'll be on his way out. When they look at everything, and just the fact that he's just too predictable, right? Everybody sees it. Everybody knows what kind of plays he's calling. They know what he's running. And Harbaugh, because that's his friend, it'll be a soft fire, right? Like, they won't just say you're fired. He'll be like, hey man, slide over this position. I need you to do that real quick. Slide over to run game coordinator. He might even say, hey, I'll keep your pay the same, but like you got to take this spot over here, right?
Or they'll just mutually agree that it's not working out. And he'll go on his way. But yeah, I think this is going to be fine for Baltimore. Like, honestly, the way they were playing this season, even if they got into the playoffs, it probably wasn't going to go well. Now they get a chance to pick much higher than they have in recent years, and add some talent to the team, and come back strong for next season.
Yeah. Let's see here. Nitro says, offense scored no TDs, but y'all think Lamar not getting the bag? He said $500 million, no discount, because you made him play out the entire contract. He still got 1 more year. They picked up his 5th year. option. So he's got 1 more year on this rookie deal. They did try to get him signed this year. We know that. But price has gone up. Just because he had an off year, people think, oh, he missed his window. He can get more next year than he would have gotten this year.
Yeah.
All right.
And shout out to our guy, Noah. Noah just subscribed to Ring Kings podcast. Thank you, Noah.
Shout out to Noah, man. If you want to be awesome like Noah, go over to Ring Kings podcast, right? If you into boxing, man, hit that subscribe button. And shout out to our man, Engraven. He in here. He says, because that's his friend. Boom. Listen. You miss you. Let me read this. Shout out to Shook. He just made a donation. He says, just wanted to stop by and show love to my favorite podcast out here. Shout out to you, Shook, man. Appreciate you. Can't wait to see who the Ravens draft next year. Thanks for taking Villanueva, man. Whatever. See you next week. Love from a Steeler fan. Whatever. Yeah, we're going to see you. Engraven, man. You use the term hood Harbaugh in your show, and what I was saying is Harbaugh has bad friends. You're hood Harbaugh, and you got hood friends. Okay, his friends can't coach. All right, he needs to move out to the suburbs. Okay, he needs to be suburb Harbaugh next year. Okay,
I'll tell you, man, go get you a Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey,
go get you Ken Dorsey from the U. From Carolina.
What about Mike Kafka? He's still with
go get you a Ken Dorsey from Carolina. All right, he'll do wonders for you.
Is Kafka still the QB coach in?
He is indeed.
That's a candidate right there. Listen, You guys asked us this last year. We did a video last year. People were like, well, who are you going to get to replace Greg Roman? We dropped like 3 or 4 names on you. We'll do it again this year if you want. If you want us to do Eric DeCosta's job, we will do it. We will find some names for you. Okay.
I mean, somebody's got to do it, right? Eric not trying to do it.
Okay. Let's see. And shout out to Kimberly Harmon, man. Thanks for coming through. And she subscribed to us too on Ring Kings podcast and Old Man Gamers. You know what? Because you subscribe to Old Man Gamers, we're back on. Okay. We haven't put up a video in a while. We're coming back.
I'm taking back my thank you, Kimberly.
We're coming back. Thank you. She says people on ESPN be hating on the Ravens for losing every game. You're always gonna have haters. You're always gonna have haters. Lamar is a polarizing person, right? And
I don't think so. I'm gonna push back on that. There is nothing polarizing about Lamar Jackson.
He is.
There is something in this country that polarizes people.
Well,
but it's not Lamar Jackson.
No, the way he played last year, he was Michael Vick times 10 last year, right? And we haven't seen anything like that in the NFL.
What I mean is he's a great player. That's undeniable. And he hasn't given you any indication of anything other than being a great person.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is it's not him that's polarizing. It's a certain segment of this country being uncomfortable with the way he plays and the way he looks and the way he talks.
Absolutely. Listen, that's just the reality, right? Black quarterbacks get that attention. That's just what it is, right? But yeah, you're going to talk about it. And because ESPN, they know that gets clicks, that gets people watching. They're always going to do these ridiculous takes because they know people are going to keep clicking on it. All right.
What's her name? Rita, the NFL chick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rita. She said on Twitter earlier today, because Josh Allen had, I believe, it was like 80-something yards and 2 rushing touchdowns at the time. And she's like, is he a running back too, or does that only apply to the black guys?
Yeah.
The black quarterbacks.
It applies to the black quarterbacks. All right.
Yeah.
Look, we said this before. What's his name? Tannehill. Tannehill was an actual wide receiver in college. Ryan Tannehill was an actual wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even he got all the looks to play quarterback in the league, even though he wasn't that good to begin with. All right. So it has nothing to do, with, where they played, athleticism and all that stuff. Those are all dog whistles, which is why we always push back on some of the criticism of Lamar. Fair criticism is fair criticism, but some of that stuff, you got to know that's just a dog whistle.
Yeah.
And shout out to Attitude Pop. He says, Jose, look at the field they do their practice on. Have you seen it? It's dirty and the grass is dead. Anybody can get hurt on that field. I have wondered that. Have you guys seen that field? It's it does look like dead grass. And I'm like, is that on purpose or what are they trying there? I have seen that. That's a good point.
Steve need to write a check, get them some new facilities.
Guys, we're gonna have a look.
David Tepper did it. Because he's the richest owner in the league. I don't know if you knew that.
Um,
Carolina got that money. They got that money backing them now.
if he's so rich,
they practice inside. It's not a ballroom anymore.
If he's so rich, tell him to cut a check and send Matt Rule on his way. Tell him to get out of here.
Will. It's not about the money. It's about making Matt Rule lay in the mess he made.
Let's see here. Oh, what's going on? Okay. Kingbird 97. What's up, man? Says Jose, if we do get Eric Bieniemy, what would you do? What would you do? Because I would be super happy if he's our head coach. Oh, I'd be happy too. Yeah. I mean, that's Eric Bieniemy, Byron Leftwich. I even get Todd Bowles another shot. I like the way he had. I like the direction he had the Jets going in. I think if he was still the Jets coach, they'd be a playoff team right now. But Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich are definitely at the top of my list for sure. And also, I want to see the coaching staff too, right? But I think I would trust them to put together a good coaching staff. Akeem says Lamar Jackson can't go to the next level that we all know he can go until Greg Roman gets shown the door. And I agree, and I think this organization understands that too. I think John Harbaugh understands that as well, which is why I think that they're never going to throw Greg Roman under the bus, but I think they are going to let him go after the season's done. Mikey says they claim it's the special kind of grass that turns from green to brown during the season changes.
That's all grass, ain't it, when it dies?
Yeah.
When it gets cold?
I mean, that looks like, it looks like it's dead. Like, I can swear when they're running around, I see dust kicking up. I'm like, man, that doesn't look safe. But
you shouldn't have to explain the state of your practice field when you're an NFL team. You shouldn't have to explain that to people.
But they're going to have to. We need to look at everything that they're doing because these players stay getting hurt. And it's something with them, man. It's something. Mm-hmm. So, all right, couple more, and we're going to get out of here, man. You guys go. Who's playing tonight?
Green Bay and Minnesota.
Green Bay and Minnie. Go watch that game, man. Go watch the game.
Because you're going to be playing against Aaron Rodgers 2 times next year.
Because look, well, yeah, if he joins the Steelers, yeah, or the Browns, who knows? But listen, next week is looking like that's going to be our last week, right? The Ravens, and that's going to be the end of our season. And the show must go on. Okay, you already know we do sports on this channel, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about. We'll still have a lot to talk about for the Ravens. So we're gonna be doing a lot of scrutinizing, something that hopefully Steve Bisciotti and Eric DeCosta are doing with this team, right? And keep following us. Keep tweeting at us. Send us emails if you want. Anything that you want to discuss in particular. We have a lot to say, obviously. We'll have a lot to discuss with you guys. But I really do think it's time to clean house. But I don't think Harbaugh's leaving this year. I do think Greg Roman is definitely gone. And I think they really need to take a look at Wink Martindale.
Yeah. So, I don't think Wink will be gone. I think Greg will. Yeah. And it's really about you're going to, Greg Roman getting fired is not indicative of anything. Yeah. It's going to be a matter of who they bring in to replace him is going to tell you where their head's at in Baltimore. Yeah. Because, they've been complacent. They've been lazy. They're stuck in the past. They need a whole philosophical shift in the Ravens organization. But if they fire Greg Roman and they're like, hey, let's promote from within, then they don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah. Jerome Bigby, what's going on, man? He says, are y'all doing a mock draft this year? Did y'all like the mock draft we did last year? That was actually fun. Me and B were kind of like, we don't want to do a mock draft. Everybody does a mock draft. But that was actually fun. Yes, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Do you guys remember who we got in our mock draft in the first round?
Because Carolina doesn't have any picks. So.
You have a first round pick.
Yeah, just the one.
Well,
I'll be out real early. We're picking 6th, and then you won't see me again because we don't have picks in second.
Carolina, you're going to get the Marty Hurting special. You're used to that. Do you guys remember who we – put it in the chat. If you remember who we got in the first round of that draft, put it in the chat. I thought I did really well, okay?
Yeah.
I did really well, and that player is doing pretty good. Pretty good. Put it in the chat if y'all remember.
God damn it, Suge.
What does Suge do?
No. He's in the Discord talking about, can we talk about why The Dark Knight is bad?
Oh, here we go. Everybody boo Suge. How about that? Boo this man. Look, that's for the overtime show. Okay, we look. So if you're new
That's
here,
not for anything.
if you're new here, we do the overtime show after the main show on Wednesday, and we talk movies, we talk anything and everything, man. So that's a conversation that we've been having on the overtime show, and Suge is a crazy person. So, what is it?
It looks like. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like unless Chris Boswell, the Steelers kicker, attempts like 15 field goals and misses all of them, it looks like Deshaun is the inaugural fantasy football champion.
Oh, snap.
The LBHT Crew Fantasy League champ is Team Stoner.
Team Stoner.
Deshaun.
Look at
congratulations, Deshaun.
Congrats, Deshaun. Everybody saying congrats to Deshaun, man. Good job, man. Good job. And we're gonna get with you. We're gonna link with you later on. Get all your information. I mean, we gotta wait for it to be official, and then we'll get you all the information. And you guys send us a pic, man, of you wearing that championship belt. It's a nice one. If you guys haven't seen it, man, maybe on Wednesday we'll display it before we send it off. But I want to read this comment from Mikey. He says, I have some homework for the LBHT bros. Who are your choices for team MVPs this year, not named Lamar Jackson?
Oh, so offense and defense in Baltimore?
Yeah. I mean, Lamar carries the team. That's the problem. I would say Mark Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews on offense. He listen. I mean, you all think we're haters on Mark Andrews. No, he's had a great season, a fantastic season. We just said he's not the best tight end in the league.
Out of everybody else on the offense, he's the only one that's really stepping up. Like, put some burden on me. So I like that.
Defensively, I'm going to go with Tyus Bowser. I think that he's really stepped up, and I think he's overplayed his contract. He led the team in sacks. He's been making plays for him. He drops back in coverage. He plays the run. He does everything, a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously the defense wasn't great, but I think he was a bright spot on it this year.
I'm going to say Calais Campbell, right? Like a lot of stuff that he does doesn't show up on paper, but like he's been a force, right? And even today, I could see him just like telling Brandon Williams, here, line up over here. Like he's reading the defense, and like every time he does something, like it's paying off. I think Calais Campbell, healthy this year, made a huge difference on that D line. I'm gonna say Calais Campbell. And he also had that block kick against the Colts, right? Yeah. Like I would say Calais Campbell. I think it doesn't always show up on the stats, but he's been the force.
Man's 10 feet tall when he puts his arms in there.
Man, that's a huge person, man. Let's see. Jonathan Washington is guessing. He said, "Did we get Bateman?" No, that was a Garnett that willed Bateman onto this team.
Yes.
And Suge has sent another donation. Shout out to Suge, man. He says nothing but love for my homies, Jose and Brodny. But for real, oh boy. Suge, how about I take your money? How about I take your money and not read it? How about that?
You gotta read it.
He thinks Christian Bale is a bad Batman. Okay, all right. He's yes. He hates Christian Bale. I think it's something personal with Christian Bale, but he thinks Christian Bale is a bad Batman. Make sure to follow these great guys. The LBHT crew is the best crew out there. We have nothing but fun. Yes, great conversations and some real talk. Join the Patreon. Yes, join the Patreon. And just
and definitely follow Suge. Suge got his own new channel he's starting up. He's also on Watt Real Entertainment. He's doing a lot of good work over there. So give Suge a follow.
Yes.
If you're still in the chat, drop the link for your new channel, Suge.
Yes, drop the link.
I need to go back and look because I'm pretty sure I picked Tyus Bowser to lead Baltimore in sacks this year. I'm pretty sure I did.
So who did I pick for in our mock draft last year? It was Devontae Smith.
Yes.
We traded up, and he landed in real life. I think he went almost to the same pick that they had him going to, and we traded up and got Devontae Smith. It didn't take a whole lot to move up either. And look,
I just took the extra second, the extra third.
Yeah. But I like I like Rashad Bateman. I was happy with that pick, but I think Devontae Smith is a better wide receiver. Right.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, it's one of those things where this is going to be one of those things where I feel like, I'm like, man, we should have gotten this guy. It's fine. I think Devontae Smith is going to be a slightly better wide receiver. We're going to be happy with Rashad Bateman. But in the future, when we have a chance to get the man, right, we need to get him. If we had a shot at DeAndre Hopkins, we need to get DeAndre Hopkins. If we had a shot at Stephon Diggs, we need to get Stephon Diggs. If we ever had a shot at Jamar Chase, and we didn't, but I'm saying, like, if a player like that comes along, then we need to upgrade, because Bateman, he can't be the best we get. That's my thing. He can't be the best we get.
And listen, man, again, you hear from Ravens fans a lot. We don't need Julio Jones. We don't need Odell Beckham. We don't need Stephon Diggs. And the games that you've been watching over the last few weeks should tell you one thing. If nothing else, you absolutely need elite talent. You have to have it if you want to win in this league. Cincinnati is not the AFC North champions because of their coaching. Their offensive coordinators schemed their offense really well. They're the AFC North champs because they went and got T. Higgins and they got Jamar Chase to put around the guy who they drafted to be their franchise quarterback.
Let me ask you this, you guys. If we had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on this team, right? Even with all Lamar out, do you think we would be struggling to get into the playoffs right now? Or do you think a few of these games we run away with?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're that type of talent. I mean, if you haven't seen, I mean, you've seen Jamar Chase, like, obviously against us. Look what he did today against Kansas City. Almost 300 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. All right. Those type of players.
They beat Kansas City today. A lot of people thought they were going to get blown out. Right. A lot of people thought, they're frauds, blah, blah, blah. They beat them 34-31 because they can put up points.
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, tell me which wide receiver on our team you would rather keep over those two?
None.
I would trade everybody in that wide receiving room for those guys. And we can just fill out the roster with whoever after that.
Yeah, all of them. Go sign guys off the street.
Yes.
Go sign Philly Brown 3 times.
And T. Higgins, that's somebody. We chose Patrick Queen over T. Higgins, and we like Patrick Queen, but we thought you got to focus on offense, right? T. Higgins was in our mock draft that we put on our website, lbhtshow.com. We wrote an article. We both did mock drafts, and I think you had T. Higgins. One of us had T. Higgins. We thought that was the move, and they decided, no, we're going to go defense. It's about priorities. That's where the whole hashtag defund the defense came from, because you're choosing defense over offense, and that needs to stop.
Yeah, Patrick Queen, he's a good young player. I think he's going to be fine in Baltimore. But middle linebacker is not a position that moves the needle.
Yeah. King says Jerry Rice would thrive with Greg Roman. Jerry Rice is, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time, and he would struggle in this offense because it's not a passing offense. Like, that's just what it is. But yes, he would. But yes, he would still be a beast. Big Red says, "Give me Boykin and Proche." Oh man, y'all don't even talk about Boykin anymore, man.
Well, that's fine. I wish they would be like that with Proche, because they're both going to be off the team next year.
What? We're gonna have to do a deep dive in this Proche thing one of these days. Why do you love this man so much? What is it about Proche?
Because they love underdogs. They like it when the Ravens are underdogs. And, if you put James Proche out there, you get the underdog angle. And, if he plays well, it's cool because, hey, we found this hidden gem. And when he plays like James Proche, then you can be like, it's okay. It was just James Proche. Nobody expected us to win it. Yeah. That's all.
Big Reds also says Josh Bynes or Bowser for his MVP on defense. Hakeem says he'll take Tyus Bowser on defense. Okay. So Mikey wants to know who are your MVPs for Carolina. He says Baltimore and Carolina.
Yeah. So for Carolina, I think on the defensive side, I mean, I would probably have to give it to Hassan Reddick. I honestly, it would be him or Burns. I think they both played really well, for the most part this season. I think that Burns is a better overall player than Reddick, but yeah, it's fine. Hassan Reddick on offense, man, like, I don't even know what kind of question that is. I don't know how to answer that.
It's easy for me. It's Cam Newton. It's Cam Newton. Cam Newton. You know why? Because there was nothing going on good on offense. I mean, I would say Christian McCaffrey, but he only played like 5 games, and the only thing that was really going on there was that Cam Newton saved your season as a fan, kept you interested in watching. So just for that alone, I'm gonna say Cam Newton.
It like honestly, it might have to be that because I'm looking right now. I know that DJ Moore had another good year, but
Yeah.
it meant nothing and nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, he dropped a lot of passes this year.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You're looking like Hollywood out here kind of numbers. But he went over 1,000 yards again. He didn't hit 1,200. He had hit 1,200 the past couple of years. He went just over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. But yeah, man, I think it would have to be Cam also, if just for the Arizona week.
Yeah. Shug says, you know what the Ravens need? A Hall of Fame QB like Big Ben. Well,
they don't need Ravens.
Well, Flacco's better.
Nobody needs that.
How you like that, Shug? Flacco's better. Did you like that, Shug? Did you like that? King of Pilgrim says there's no defensive MVP. I'm sure he's talking about the Ravens.
Yeah.
I would say Calais Campbell. I have nothing bad to say about Calais Campbell, man. He had an excellent year. Nitro says this man Hollywood got 100+ targets and can't get 1K receiving yards. So he only needed a handful of yards to get 1,000. How close are we to 1,000? How many does he need next week?
Very close, because he had like 28 yards this week. So I mean, he needs like under 30, I think. So
it would be tragic if he does not get it.
Honestly, listen, this is gonna sound petty, but man, you've been talking a lot of trash, and if I'm Greg Roman, I'm benching you next week. Nah, man, you ain't getting 1,000 yards with me. No, sir.
This is going to be next year is going to be a very interesting year. I think Lamar, him and Hollywood, they have a close bond. I think Lamar wants Hollywood to stay there. He wants Hollywood to get paid. And I think he was really forcing the ball to Hollywood early in the season. I think it was paying off. Hollywood was making plays. But, the offense fell apart because, you run the same play and it's predictable and your O-line can't hold up and nothing's changing. And you saw Hollywood start to, just disappear.
Fade away.
Because he's not one of those guys. Like, he's fast. He can be a deep threat, right? But he's not really a game breaker like that either.
No.
So, I mean, that's a struggle. It's what you're getting with Hollywood, a solid player, not a great player. Do you pay him, right? Like, what's that extension look like, especially if he's going to be a 1,000-yard wide receiver, right? You just signed Bateman. We think Bateman's going to be a better wide receiver than him, and we still think you need more wide receiver help on top of that. So, What happens with Hollywood?
I think you draft a wide receiver in the first round and let Hollywood play out the contract and see if he steps it up. If
I agree.
He doesn't, you let him go.
Yeah. I think it's time to roll. If we get another good wide receiver. How many catches for Hollywood? I'm not sure. Darren says Bart Scott was right. I'm sorry, guys. Bart Scott is a major jerk, but he said a lot of hard truths in that little rant that he went, because he started naming the wide receivers that are better than him, and I could not disagree. But this is what we're saying about a wide receiving core last year.
But I don't want to hear that from Bart Scott, because don't let people start naming the linebackers who are better than you.
Ooh, there are quite a few.
Right? You weren't anybody.
You were hot for like 2 years. You were hot for like 2 years. This
so
is
the
true.
most memorable part of his career was his interview with Sal Palatine.
The can't wait. Yeah, he was good that year. He was balling.
No, he was fine. There's a lot of good linebackers in the NFL.
Listen, the most memorable moment for me, because I was at the game, was when he took Big Ben's head off. Okay, that was when was that Flacco's rookie year? I want to say that was Flacco's rookie year. He came off the edge on a blitz, and I thought Roethlisberger saw him. I thought, because that's what he does all the time. Like, he steps into the pocket, at the last minute. And I was like, man, get him. And I knew Roethlisberger was going to get rid of the ball beforehand. He didn't. And he hit him so hard. I didn't even see him fall. His head was there 1 minute, and then next thing you know, his feet were in the air. He took him completely off his feet. And man, the whole stadium went hype. Man, that I'll always remember that about Bart Scott, man. Like that, he made me a fan that day. But yeah, no, he wasn't that great of a linebacker. He was just all right.
So Hollywood has had 138 targets, 88 receptions, 981 yards, averaging 11.1 yards per catch.
So he needs 19. Touchdowns. He needs 19 yards. All right,
that is just so underwhelming, man. All of that.
But again, yes, a big part of it is this isn't a passing offense, and we have one of the worst possible coaches to try to, have a passing offense with.
Look, it is, that is true, but you have to make plays when you get the ball.
Yeah,
like you have to, and he doesn't.
Yeah. To his dismay, he dropped 3 touchdowns in one game. He did. Mm-hmm. He would have already had his 1,000 yards.
That was the other thing I was telling people. I don't want to hear about underthrown passes because if he had just caught the ball in Detroit, he'd be over 1,000 already.
Yeah. Hakeem says Willie Snead used to work the slot when he was here. Not sure why we can't get Duvernay to get that kind of production.
Because Duvernay is not a good wide receiver. He's not a good route runner. He doesn't have great hands. He doesn't have a big catch radius.
He reminds me of that. He's kind of like a Percy Harvin.
He's a spark plug.
Yeah. Not saying there's not a role for him, but you don't want to lean on him. All right, two more, and then we getting out of here. Darren says, "Is this what it's like to be a Chargers fan?" By the way, how many one-score games did we lose this year? How many losses do we have? Well, outside of the 2 to the Bengals, I think every one of them was a one-score game. The guys over at TTB Media, Trust the Bank, they had said something about that on the stream earlier about how we lost, I think it's like 3 or 4 games by a total combined score of 7 points. Something ridiculous like that, man. So, but again, it's that razor's edge, right? Because it's like, we could have just as easily won those games, but we could have just as easily lost a handful of other games.
Yeah.
Like we could have been a really good team on paper, or we could have been a really bad team on paper. But the one consistent throughout the whole thing is our offense sucked. Offense and defense sucked.
They've lost 5 one-score games this season. They lost to obviously the Rams by 1, Green Bay by 1, Cleveland by 2, Pittsburgh by 1. That was the win, and then the Raiders by 6. And then they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 one-score wins.
Yeah, Big Reg. He says take time to watch Proche's college tape. We have, and in fact, and Ferris has watched his tape too. And Ferris can tell you all about Proche. He ain't nothing special, yo.
No, he could not get separation in college. He had great hands, but he was playing bad corners and couldn't get loose. That's why he went in the 6th round.
The 6th. Like, he like, it wasn't one of those things where everybody just was like, man, how did he miss this guy? Like, he's such a great talent. No, they knew exactly what he was, and he's showing you now. There's a reason why he got deactivated, okay? Like, they don't need a possession wide receiver today. They need somebody that could block.
And he ain't a possession wide receiver.
No, he's not. He's not. Nigel says this man could get 145 targets and not get 1,000 yards with these passing rules. Ridiculous.
Listen. I've said that if he doesn't get there, they need to trade Hollywood. But at least he's not Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry had over 100 catches and had 900 and something yards one year. Like it was disgustingly bad.
Viz wants to know, y'all still want to trade Lamar, keep Huntley? Nobody in this stream wants to like. I get you. You probably watching some other streams, but like, not the LBHT crew. This ain't the group that's talking that nonsense. And last one, Mikey says chances Giro resigns this week. That's what he meant to say. Resigns this week.
I'm gonna put that at a hard 0.
It's not. Yeah, anything gonna happen is gonna be in the off season. They're gonna get to the off season. And like B said, it might be like a mutual agreement or whatever, but I do not think he's going to be on this team next year. Honestly, if we're being honest, I think T. Martin will get the shot. I think that's why T. Martin was brought here to step up into that role.
He's not going to resign this week. You know what he's going to do this week? He's going to go meet with his good friend John and figure out how John's going to save his job.
Oh, what's up, Click One? So what's up, boys? Haven't been here in a while. Shout out to you, man. How you been, bro? Well, also hi and goodbye because we're getting out of here.
Yes.
What are we doing for 1K? You mean 1K subscribers? You gotta wait and see, Danity. You gotta wait and see. We got some ideas. Okay, it's gonna be fun. All right. All right. Let's get out of here. Y'all go watch the game. We'll be back here on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about. We have a whole lot to talk about. Our season's coming to an end, but we have a whole lot to talk about. So enjoy the rest of your night. If you're on the East Coast, man, and winter's coming your way. If school is out, just be safe out there. All right. Be safe on the road if you gotta travel tomorrow. If you can call out or your job said stay home, man, enjoy another day off of work. Okay. But and shout out to Engraving, man. We're gonna we gotta catch up with you as well, man. And shout out to Eric. Oh, before we get off, so Eric, he filmed something for us yesterday. Me, B, Mikey. That's for our new channel, Ring Kings Podcast. We mentioned it earlier. Go subscribe if you're a boxing fan. Ring Kings Podcast. All right, we trying to get to 100 real quick. That's our early goal, 100 subscribers. All right, so help us reach that, and we have a lot of good things coming for that. We have a lot of good things for this channel coming up as well. So we're excited, man. We do a lot of things behind the scenes. Planning to give you guys the best experience possible. So just keep rocking with us, man. But all right, you got any thing you want to say before we get out here, B?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
All right, are you ready?
Always ready.
Always ready. All right, y'all.
Of the time.
Have a great night. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace out.